This morning, the South African Local Government Association, SALGA, the Gauteng chapter, will hold a two-day elective conference under the theme Intergovernmental and Institutional Cooperative Agility to deliver tangible and evidence-based services. Matshidiso Mfikoe is the Deputy Chair for SALGA Gauteng. She joins us now via Zoom. A very good morning to you and thanks for making the time.
Thank you very much and good morning to you and to your viewers.
The theme is quite cumbersome. What does it mean?
It means that as local governments, we must move with speed and use our intergovernmental relationships for us to be able to provide critical and important services to our communities. Do that in a professional manner and ensuring that there is equity in that provision of those services.
It's quite interesting at a time when South Africans feel that so many years after democracy, the conversation shouldn't be about institutionalizing processes, but about strengthening them. What's the significance of this gathering in relation to the delivery of service to South Africans?
SALGA is an association of municipalities. Its mandate is renewed every 5 years after all elections, so that you also elect executive committees that will be able to mobilize and get together, including making sure that national government and provincial government is lobbied into assisting municipalities in the provision of services. So the gathering is meant to take stock on the work that the PEC and the National Executive Committee has done over the past 5 years, including developing a program, then ending up by electing a provincial executive committee that will ensure that that program is implemented, including being able to lobby for municipalities, as well as ensuring that national government and cabinet also takes into consideration some of the national, including provincial programs or responsibilities that they must do for municipalities.
Ms. Mfikoe, I know it's an elective conference and I'd like you to speak more about what that means again for South Africans. But we've just come out of a local government election where there was just a sense generally that SALGA is a useless body in government. It doesn't deliver to its promises. Are you able to tell us specific areas of concern for SALGA? One that comes up top of mind at the moment is an area like Eskom, where Eskom and municipalities are literally taking each other to the courts in relation to how they engage and interact. What are the uppermost discussions for SALGA as you go into this meeting?
Look, SALGA has been very central to those Eskom engagement with municipalities. We have made presentations as an organization with Eskom. We have lobbied national government on behalf of our municipalities. Municipalities are members of SALGA, not communities. We are a body of an association for municipalities. So before even laws and acts in parliament are put together, SALGA does have a view. Our member municipalities do come together, they do summits, symposiums to input into those acts, and then we lobby. Another important part that we are engaging with national government on is the support for councillors. We feel that councillors are the least supported public servants in the whole public sector, and national government need to deal better with them, including their remuneration and their protection as well. Because you find that communities would be angry at councillors for things that are actually national government based or provincial based, not necessarily a function of the municipality. We do participate in a whole lot of things. We've contributed into the Safety Act, we've contributed into the Transport Act, the police, the Private Security and Policing Act. We have contributed as a body recognized by the Constitution. When we're talking about elections also, it is not elections that are open to the public like we are making reference to. It would be municipalities themselves who are going to choose amongst the councillors in their different municipalities to serve in those executive committees in all the 9 provinces, then ultimately making an input into who gets into the National Executive Committee of SALGA. It's a municipality-driven association, not a community-driven. But yes, we are SALGA responsible for councillors and municipalities. Our work and impact should be for the benefit of our communities.
Let's talk about those member municipalities that you're referring to, and just in terms of how SALGA is funded. It relies on municipalities paying subscription fees to keep it going. And one of the other conversations we've been having in South Africa is non-liquidity in municipalities. How are the members paying up? Is SALGA sufficiently capitalized?
No. In reality, is that not all municipalities are indeed paying their levies, and they have a number of situations. You know, in Joburg, in Gauteng, there are those that are under administration, so we're dependent on the province assisting them to pay for their levies. Some of them have requested to stagger their payments so that they don't have an impact on their budget. But it is indeed true that a large amount of municipal levies do keep SALGA going, but we also do from time to time seek sponsorships that are reported to Treasury and are put in our financial books for the audit purposes. But it is important for our member municipalities to pay for their levies, because that way you have the SALGA Bargaining Council being fully operational for the benefit of our employees. But if they don't pay, then it becomes a bit of a challenge for the functioning of the organization, including protecting the interests and benefits of employees and member municipalities collectively.
How's SALGA engaging with the conversation of getting municipalities to take over the distribution of electricity?
It is a conversation that we are having, including with Eskom itself, because it's easy for municipalities to say, we will take over, then Eskom refuses. So we have made strides working with the city of Johannesburg in that Eskom has agreed. So we're hoping that the PC that's going to come through will be able to make sure that the conversation continues, so that municipalities that are able to, because remember, not all municipalities will be able to take over the distribution. It will depend on what they have on the infrastructure, including the capex, to be able to run that distribution. But we're hoping that the incoming PEC will be able to run with it. There's foundation that has been laid. We just need to make sure that it is fast-tracked, so that all municipalities that are able to run and manage the service themselves for the benefit of their constituencies.
Let's talk about that process that's taking place today. It runs off from the results of the local government elections, doesn't it? Just in terms of new leadership coming in.
Yes, it does. It does. The process happens every 5 years. After elections, the constitution gives us about 90 days. Once councils has been established, executive committees has been established, then SALGA can then put together its provincial conferences. We have about, Gauteng is its 5th, if not the 6th province to have their conference in preparation for the national conference. They should sit towards the end of this month, after all provinces have had their provincial conferences.
Well, let's thank you for talking to us. As it happens with municipalities, there's just never enough time. But thanks for making the time this morning. Matshidiso Mfikoe is the Deputy Chair of SALGA Gauteng, and they're having that elective conference today. And I imagine we'll be watching other conferences happening in the 8 other provinces.